description. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this morning's service, the first service of the new school year. What do we call this service? Sundae Sunday. Why do we call it Sundae Sunday? What are we going to have after service? Sunday ice cream. All right. Yay. So my name is Kariya, and I will be your chairperson for this service this morning. We'll start with the tolling of the Kansho, followed by the chanting of Juseige.
Kansho.
We will continue this morning service with the golden chain, which is on page 6 of the brown book. I am a link in a golden chain love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are rooted in myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May everything in this golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Modiano. Namo Modiano. Namo Modiano. All right. Next, we will sing the Sambutsuga, Buddha Loves You, which is on page 33 of the brown service book. Please stand.
You guys ready? Yeah? Your arms ready? Okay, ready? The first one is what? The bird. And what does the bird do? Fly. So we start fly, right? Ready? Fly, fly, little bird. Buddha loves you, little bird. Tweet, 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 tweet. And then run, run, little pup. Buddha loves you, little pup. Bow, wow, 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 wow. Don't cry, pussycat. Buddha loves you, pussycat. Meow, 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 meow. Swim, swim, little fish. Buddha loves you, little fish. Okay, last show. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namo Amida Butsu.
Right, please remain standing. Please remain standing. Sorry. I'm just going by the script. Please remain standing as Reverend Kory will now lead us in the reading of San Kiemon and the Three Treasures.
Sankemon. Jinjin Kukigatashi Imatsuru ni Kuku. Uppo Kikigatashi Imatsuru ni Kiku. Konomi Konjo ni Mukate Sensu ka Sari Shune no Shou ni Mukate ka Konomi Orosen. Daishu Moro Tomo ni Shishin ni Sanmo ni Keshi Kate Matsuru Meshi. Izu kara butsu ni keshi kate matsuru. Asani ewaku wa shoko tomo ni. Daido o kaige shite udo iboso san. Izu kara o ni keshi kate matsuru. Asani ewaku wa shoko tomo ni. Ugaku kyozo ni irite chieri no gotoku naran. Mizu kara so ni kieshi tate matsuru. Asani ewaku wa shoto tomo ni. Daishu o tori shite kissai muge naran. Udo jinjin mino no ho wa. Yaku sen man go nu go ayo koto kadashi. 我々が剣門し従事することを得たり、願わくは如来の真実義を下し立て祭らん。The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is it that we shall be free from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I put my faith in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principles of enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the extreme will. I put my faith in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I put my faith in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in thy life of harmony, in a spirit of universal peoplehood, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of culprits, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Paramitas teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
We will now chant our Dharma message led by Reverend.
What we have. Kansho. Always practice great compassion. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. I'm so easily distracted. I'm playing off of the kids' energy. Usually I go so much slower, but it takes a lot of focus to do that apparently. I actually forgot how many times I said Nebutsu because I was so overjoyed by hearing Kami and Patience and their Nebutsu right now. Would anyone like, so Miss Emily and I were going over Hawaii's service book. And actually it's in the front of our service book too. But this one's kind of interesting. If you want, like, we're introducing this. Yeah. Jodo Shishin Kyo, this is called the Kyosho. You know. You guys want to see? You want to see? Sure. Yeah, sure. I don't want to. Oh, do you want one? No, I'm just messing around. I was actually doing that on purpose.
Oh.
So actually, when I became a minister assistant, you sure? I'm sure. Oh, okay. I grew up at a temple where they didn't have minister assistants, and I would get upset by people at other temples learning about doing ministry type stuff. And I was Bryson was. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not even paying attention. No. Hi, we're Alice. You guys want? And well, as I was saying, I'm running out now. Well, Emily has it digitally, so. And it's, as I said, it's actually in the second page. Kind of a watered down version is on the second page of the brown book that we have. this is pretty much the whole body of work for our sect of Buddhism. Jodo Shinshu. If you understand, well, you don't have to read them all, to be honest. But if you know the basics, this is the basics. I figured let's start with, since it's Sundae Sunday, and my brain always thinks, because of growing up in a school system type of atmosphere with my parents, my dad was a principal, my mom's a teacher. This was always New Year's for me. So let's talk about the basics of Jodo Shinshu, or why we're here, or even why we're Buddhists. Yeah. You could look at the front. It just says, you know, the name of the school and founder and things. And even our sutras, the 3 Pure Land Sutras, the Usetsu Muryo Jukyo, that's what I say right before we chanted Juseige or Sambutsuge. It's right there. Under scriptures, number 1, Usetsu Muryo Jukyo. Right? So Juseige and Sambutsuge are small parts of that larger sutra, or that body of work. But even more importantly, I think I wanted to talk about the back. You know, teaching, way of life, and purpose. Teaching, way of life, and purpose. The teaching, attaining the entrusting heart, awakening to the compassion of Amida Tathagata, or the Buddha, through the working of the primal vow. We shall walk the path of life, reciting the name Amida's name, Nembutsu, or Nam Amidabutsu. And at the end of life, we will be born into Pure Land and attain Buddhahood, returning at once to this delusional world to guide people to awakening. Then the way of life, guided by the teaching of Shinran Shonin. Oh, my thing is, you know, don't worry about the teaching part too much. It comes without us even knowing. It comes without us even knowing. Just by participating. Not in service, but just coming up. You'll see what I mean. Guided by the teaching of Shinran Shonin, we shall listen to the compassionate calling of Amida Tathagata and recite the Nembutsu. Nam Amidabutsu. You see, Nembutsu is very important. Nam Amidabutsu is very important. That's what it said like 20 times right today. While always reflecting on ourselves amidst our feelings of regret and joy, we shall live expressing our gratitude without depending on the Jishmari prayer and superstition. And then finally, the purpose. This is to me, this is the most important part. Okay. The Honganji school, Hongan means primal vow, and Ji means school. So it's like, basically said the primal vow school, if you ever wonder what Hongan is. It is a community of people joined together, revering the teaching of Shinran and saying the Nembutsu, Shinran Shonin and saying the Nembutsu. We seek to share with others the wisdom and compassion of Amida Tathagata. By doing so, we shall work toward the realization of a society in which everyone is able to live a life of spiritual fulfillment. Everyone. That's why we changed to Juseige this morning, by the way. So, the reason why we chant Juseige is some of you have been to camp, right? LEBCC, right? And you guys have heard my favorite line from Juseige. No? Do you remember? No? Okay. So I grew up at the temples all my life, and I enjoyed chanting Juseige because, as I said, my mom is a retired teacher, and she was really strict. We couldn't say things like, oh, my dad was actually being kind of strict too on words. We couldn't say boring. He would actually give us time out in our rooms if we said, this is boring. You know, so you can imagine if we said something like it's too good. We say it softly, shh. We'd get in trouble by my mom. My mom would be really upset with us because it's labeling something as negative or so you can imagine growing up in my household. It was we were very kind of rebellious kids, and we always thought about ways to let our steam out. Well, we went to temple, and in Juseige, my favorite line in Juseige, which we said today, is, of course, Seppo Shishiku. Because I could say shishi as loud as I want to. Some of you know what that word is, right? Shishi actually means, it's a bathroom word. It's a bathroom word. It means pee, right? Oh, well, you're going to tell me. You wanted to say it, Mom. Actually, lion. You're right, though. So I didn't know that until I was older. But because I could chant that word as loud as I wanted, it was my favorite. But it gave me good feelings. It gave me good feelings. Just like being at the temple, I hope you all, those that are new to the temple and to the service, you all find warm feelings. Right? And this is what it is to be Joro Shinshu Buddhist. Chanting Juseige, that's why it says Sei Fujiro Shogan, the first 3 verses. The first verse is saying, I'm going to make a vow or a promise. The ultimate or incomparable vow. The second, and it's actually to save all sentient beings. That's what we call the primal vow, or this why we say Hongon. Okay. The second verse is about saving all beings. It says, if you look in this purple book here, I was going to read it, but it actually says something like save the poor but it basically says people that are unenlightened. How many of us get angry? Greedy. That's right? Greedy. No wisdom or lack of wisdom. Right? And then we always remember as these are the 3 poisons: greed, anger, and if we say lack of wisdom as stupidity, what are the first 3 letters? G-A-S, right? So if you have those things, you need to let them go. I lost all my little ones. It's okay. It's okay. Because we all have gas, right? And it keeps coming. Gas keeps coming. You have to let out the gas a little bit at a time, because if you don't, you're going to have pain. And you'll be suffering. And this is what Buddhism is really about, is the pain and suffering of gas. Now the third one is for the Buddha's name to be heard throughout wherever we may go. And the reason why for this is from this what we have in my hand right here. It's talking about, it says wisdom and compassion. See, I mean the Buddha is the Buddha of wisdom and compassion. To show us our true selves, the wisdom. And then, as I said, compassion is not giving compassion to others, it's realizing the compassion that we receive from others, or things from outside of ourselves. The wisdom, so because we're human beings, we're going to get angry, we're going to get greedy, we're going to have lack of wisdom, we're going to have gas. But we always have to realize this is where we find help with others. And not this teaching isn't for everyone. In the first teaching of the Buddha, he found someone and said, I have this great teaching. It'll change your life. And the person, because they were a merchant and their life was good, they said, thank you, that's okay. My life is over, thank you for sharing. And then they went on. Only the people that really realize that they have issues or have these issues really appreciate the teachings. So I'm going to share with you a poll. So I'm going to share with you. I always do the story on parenting. Okay. Boys, you guys are Boy Scouts, right? No? Some of you? Cub Scouts? Cub Scouts. Yeah. Have you guys gone camping at all? Yeah. You know, the great thing about camping is being out in the outdoors, right? Yeah. And the thing about the outdoors we like to see is the wildlife. Jasper too, right here in Cub Scouts. Yeah. But I had a flash of a raccoon because, well, recently we've had them at my house. Actually, here at the temple too, we have raccoons. I see them on the webcam, on the cameras, temple. But no, I always share this story. This is very important for you to know even right now, and to use it every day. Okay, all you kids, this is the important part. There was a great teacher named And I share this every year. This story, we should always remember it. Great teacher Genshin. Okay. These young students came to him because he was known to be the wisest and most compassionate teacher or priest in all of Japan. Do you remember this one? Yeah, it's a great story, right? Yeah. Do you ever tell your parents thank you because of the story? No. What? No, that's okay. I'm glad you remembered though. So he's known as the greatest teacher in all of Japan, and people came to his service or to study and meditate with him, and so they can become enlightened, or even just become, So all these students are there, and one day the students are in the courtyard, and out from the edge of the woods, the forest, comes a young deer. That's starving. Now you really know this one, right? The young deer that's starving. You can see its ribs, and you can tell it's all alone. So what compassionate thing can we do for this deer? Well, the deer, they said, we should feed it because it's so hungry. So they got some food, they got water, and they put it out for the deer, and then they moved away and waited. And after time, the deer was so hungry that it came out, and it started to eat the food. And Genshin, seeing this, walking through the courtyard, and seeing this, stopped. He took a moment. He bent down and picked up some of the ground, and then came running at and yelling at the deer and throwing the rocks that he picked up from the ground at the deer. And the deer ran away. I think if I came out yelling and screaming at you too, right, we would probably come run away too. And then Genshin stopped, turned around, and walked back inside. The young priests, they were all shocked. How could this be? He's supposed to be this great teacher. He's supposed to be kind and compassionate. He's supposed to be wise. Is this truly a wise person to act this way? And so they go back. They go back inside and go back to their studies, their meditation. But how many of us, we go back to our studies and this kind of thing is bothering us, and so the anger and the frustration, it grows because they don't have an answer to why are they following this crazy priests? And so they start leaving. And then finally, the last few are left. And I don't know if the parents can remember or the adults can remember being in school, but that's probably the best time to ask your question if you're hesitant. So the last few did. They went up to Genshin. Genshin, excuse me. Genshin's answer was, you love the deer, but I love the deer more. That's it. Well, of course, the students didn't understand this answer. So they asked again, Genshin, please explain to us why you hate the deer. And again, Genshin gave the same answer. You love the deer, but I love the deer more. And then, in many of these stories, on the third time you ask the Buddha something, the Buddha has to give an explanation or give an answer. So, on the third time, he said, Genshin, please, why do you hate the deer? And Genshin said, well, you saw the hungry deer. And so, out of compassion, out of your love, you fed the deer. But just like, well, not here in California, but in where they were, it's starting to be fall. Soon, the leaves will start to fall. The plants will go brown. The snow will come. The food will be scarce. And in that time, the deer will surely go hungry. Who will feed the deer when the deer is hungry? Will you be there? If you go camping and you feed the animal and then you leave, who's going to be there to feed it again? Well, he said, most likely not. Most likely you won't be there. And what the deer will probably find is a hunter searching for food. And if the deer doesn't fear the hunter, it will surely be dead. So, again, Genshin said, you love the deer, but I love the deer more. Because he was trying to teach the deer survival skills, to fear humans, and not rely on them. This is what wisdom is that we can only see what's in front of us, and we think that's the wise thing to do, the right thing to do. But a lot of times what we do for ourselves isn't the right thing for everyone. This is the hard part. Even for our parents. This is what I learned from my favorite line in Juseige. As Cami said, mentioned, it's not the bathroom term that I grew up with because I don't speak Japanese. But shishi means lion, just like the lion that's on top of our burner. And the ball, when you see the ball like that, the lions are the protectors of the Dharma or the teachings. So when we read that line, Seppo Shishiku, it says, I will preach the Dharma with a lion's roar. I will preach the Dharma with a lion's roar, with the strength of a roar, with the sound, the vibration, the resonance that echoes through our whole being. And so the whole paragraph says this: when Dharma makes these promises, the three promises that save all people, and so you can hear the name Namo Amitabha, because none of us are perfect. None of us are Buddhas. We all have to rely on each other to learn more about each other. It's all about the community that comes together and has parties and does a one or all these different things. We share our lives because we're not perfect. So Dharma Kara, it says, the passage is, I will open the Dharma storehouse and bestow upon all the treasures of my virtues. Constantly going among the masses, among the people, I will preach the Dharma with a lion's roar. So just like when we find ourselves, as I said, this is still my favorite line for this reason. Knowing that there's so many good things that changed my life, even though I didn't know it until later. Saying, that's why they did this, or that's why this happens. I continue to receive the compassion of those around, and especially the compassion of being able to, the primal vow, or being able to see my true self, and to realize that there's so much help around. That's great compassion. And because I receive it, the call is always practice great compassion. Always practice great compassion. But again, if you guys remember anything, remember that story, because sometimes your parents are going to say something you don't like, right? Sometimes your parents say something you don't like. I'll look in. No? Logan is pretty good. I don't know. You know? My kids, I tell them no, and then they throw a fit at it. But it's okay. We're young. We want stuff. And in the future, you'll realize you're going to do the same thing. So that's wisdom. Genshin was able to see the wisdom outside of his home to say, even from, I'm saving the deer, even from hunters. Even though it's hard to do the right thing. Okay, so with that, please join me in Kansho. If you have any questions about the community, the teachings, the teaching way of life or purpose, we can talk about that as well. Right now, welcome, and let's have a good year. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sensei, for your message. So the three big takeaways are: one, Embrace for sure, and live in gratitude for the wisdom and compassion in our lives, especially from Amida Buddha. Two, let the gas go. By gas, we don't need farts.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
You alluded to it. Greed, anger, stupidity. But if you're talking about farts, I think Shrek said better out than in. And three, as kids, we don't always appreciate the decisions our parents make for us, but they're giving you that answer because they are a little bit more wiser in years, a little more wise in years than their kids. So you may not like their answer sometimes, but they're doing it because they love you. Those are my three big takeaways. Okay. Yes, John?
Don't feed the deers.
Don't feed the deers, and also don't feed the deers. Okay. Next, we will have the reading of the Roko Harumitsu and the 6 Paramitas, which are on pages 4 and 5 of the Brown Service book.
Rogu Haramitsu, 身仏様の御心に立ち返らせていただいて、一つどう意識する清らかな花と温かい酒、つつましやかな対応で暮らしましょう。一つどう意識する腹を立てますまい。一つどう意識する不平不足嘘を申します しょう。一つ今日に一つ、夜に一つに私を守らせを見事でのことを喜ばせていただきましょう。一つ今日に一つ、南無阿弥陀仏を伝えさせていただきましょう。Six Paramitas, turning our thoughts to Lord Buddha. Let us throughout the day live with clear eyes for our hearts and humble attitude. Let us throughout the day not become angry. Let us throughout the day not utter words of discontent, dissatisfaction, and untruth. Let us throughout the day do our daily work with all our power. Let us throughout the day rejoice with the love and compassion of our Lord Buddha, who is constantly watching over us day and night. Let us throughout the day repeat the holy name, Namo Amida Butsu. Promise, the Lord Buddha is our eternal Father and Mother. The Lord Buddha always keeps watch over us. We promise to listen to the teachings of the Lord Buddha and perfect ourselves in all holiness and peace. Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namo Amida Butsu.
I'm using it. Are there any announcements? While we wait, I am working with Sensei and with Quinn Okamoto on the Dharma School Japan trip for next summer. And it looks like we have about 16 people interested in going on the summer trip to Japan. Hopefully you've been receiving the email from Tommy, our temple president, with that school trip surveys in it. If you are interested in going, it's at the end of July to the beginning of August. Next summer, it's the hottest time.
We're supposed to be telling them to come.
But they need to know. It'll be an amazing trip. Gatha will be our travel agency. They worked with us before. I teach at Sayonara High School, and they work with us on our school trip as well. They're very knowledgeable, and they have they're the second largest travel agency in Japan. So there's a gigantic network that they have that we can take advantage of. So again, if you're interested in going, please respond to that interest survey ASAP, because we are going to get the ball, or we're already started getting the ball rolling with a travel agency. Also, Dharma School is holding a spaghetti night on September 28th. So there's spaghetti plus karaoke. So again, the information is in Tommy's emails. If you're planning on going, like myself, start practicing their songs, because I'm a little bit out of practice too, and it should be a good time. And I think that's it. Oh, and we have ice cream sundaes afterwards.
Good morning, everyone. A few things that are coming up. This Saturday, we're having a big garden sale from 8 to 1. If you have anything to drop off this Friday from 10 to 7. And we're also looking for volunteers, so if you can volunteer, please do. Yeah, 5 a.m. shift on Saturday for those who are willing. Also, currently we're having a special silent auction that's going on. It'll end next Sunday after Modiano. And the website is a long one. 32auctions.com/GHBT Special Auction 2024. And you can find the link in the weekly emails. And that's it.
Good morning again. Next Sunday is Ohigan service. It's our fall equinox service. So it's a special service. Please come. And then after that afternoon though, there's the Techno Buddha Hoyo. What they call Techno Hoyo. Hoyo means service, memorial service actually, or Dharma service. So Techno Hoyo. Tommy's looking at me like, what is that? That's okay. How? 2017, Emily actually shared a link with me for this. Some of you might remember this. Were there no Miyukis? Did you come to Kids Club that time where I turned off all the lights and put the projection screen on anyone? No? Do you remember that? No? Oh. I don't know if you guys were here either, huh? So a minister in Japan he was a DJ before becoming a minister. And then so when he became a minister, he combined his past skill with ministry, and he would do shoshinge with a techno light show. Like literally, it's I can't explain it to you.
It's a techno house party.
Yeah. So it sounds like this. There's an earbud on somewhere. So at Anishi next Saturday at 3 o'clock. No, the door's open at 3. They're gonna have it in the Hondo.
Sunday?
Next Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday's at USC. Sorry, thank you. The music's distracting me. Next Sunday at doors open at 3, and then I think the foil actually starts at 4. But they're gonna do it in Nishi's Naijin. I don't know if you've ever been to Nishi. It's the all gold. It's maybe twice as big or more. Easily twice or 3 times as big as our Naijin. They're gonna set it up in a way I can't imagine. If you want to look it up, you could look up Shoshinge Techno online on YouTube, or I could show you downstairs if you like. And it seems weird, but actually they chant it properly in that as well, right? Then there's a certain key that you chant at and a certain tempo, and it's all done properly, even though it has the background to it. So some ministers like it, some ministers don't. I think it's going to be a once in a lifetime thing. I was joking, but I kind of think it's true. It might be once in a lifetime thing because I don't know if the older generation will appreciate it as much. And so, it'll be yeah. But you have to register on the link too. Yes, they're RSVPing, and you can't say how you can't give to one at a time. I don't know why they did this, but so when I tried to register myself, I was going to register my whole family, and then you can only register yourself, and then you have to keep doing it over and over. So I hope you don't have a huge family, but that's what they asked for. But even if you didn't register, you could just show up too. They just want to have preliminary numbers. Okay, as I said, they're doing it Saturday at USC, and then they're doing it at Nishi on Sunday. Okay. Right. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. We can always project it on here too. I mean, I don't know.
It will be so different.
Yeah,
I think you have to see it in person.
yeah.
So I'm surprised you remember it was 2014 or 2017. It was a while ago. But I think I saw it in HK first. And then I showed it to Sensei. I actually showed it also to Taka Miyaji. Remember Taka? He grew up here, he grew up here and at LA between too, but he spent his formative years here, and he was also a DJ, in his youth. Now he's like this very respected minister.
Oh,
And he was a DJ, remember?
yeah. He was a bartender too.
And he was a bartender.
Yeah.
So,
And now, when you mentioned Taka, now Taka is the dean of IBS, or Institute of Studies. So
anyway, so when I saw that clip, I actually ran into Tama not too long after, and I showed him this clip, because I knew he was a DJ in his youth. And he's like, whoa. But he had just come back from Kyoto, I think, at that time. So he looked at it and he was like, a lot of people wouldn't be kosher with this. But I guess now times have changed, and so, listen, I'm gonna go see it, because if you see the YouTube video, I mean, it's like lights and it's like a house. It's literally like a techno party, a disco. So it should be very interesting. And I like that one of the members' names is called Cyber Num Num. Alright, let's see, is there no other announcements? We'll conclude this morning's service with our Sayonara a cappella, so if you have an organist, which is on page 62 of the bronze service book, followed by the Benediction. Please rise.
do you want to count up or do you want me to count up? Huh?
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2,
We surround all people in all forms of life with infinite love and compassion. Particularly do we send forth loving thoughts to those in suffering and sorrow, to all those in doubt and ignorance, and to those whose feet are standing close to the great change we call death. We send forth oceans of wisdom, mercy, and love. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 You may sit down. Thank you very much for attending this morning's service. Please join us downstairs as we enjoy our ice cream.
Kansho. You should do it the right way, huh? We are truly grateful for this opportunity to share this wonderful meal. Thanks to all the many people and living beings that surround us who made this occasion possible. With deep gratitude, Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Itadakimasu.